Talking about Alberta, you put a note in here on Calgary's new mayor.
Yeah.
You said think it's a sign to come. Coincides with liberals admitting banning plastic straws was asinine. Liberals admitted that. Which liberal
They
admitted
they
it?
pretty much did. It's buried pretty deep in some of their in some of their recent policy.
And who's Calgary's new mayor?
Jeremy Farkas.
Okay.
And there's an article in the National Post, and he goes off.
On what? Calgary's new mayor goes off. Is he in a different party than the other guy? Like that?
I don't. He's a long ways from the guy that was in for a long time, and even their most recent mayor. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank on. I can picture the guy because I've seen him in person. Their old mayor,
Michael Tube. Who's that?
Well, that was probably their last one. But their mayor now is Farkas. He promises much stricter enforcement against open drug use and the crime that surrounds it. We need to hold accountable the worst, most egregious offenders. And we know right now that it's about 100 individuals who are responsible for the vast majority of repeat violent crime and offenses, he said. This may not be politically correct to say, but we need to crack down on these people. They need to be put in jail.
Yeah, the headline is Calgary frees itself from climate emergency. Mayor Jyoti Godek. Her policies were destructive, and she was hostile toward individuals and groups that didn't fit her ideological wheelhouse. Okay.
So this is what he talks about. He goes on pretty strongly against people that are anti-Semitic. He said this violence, because there's been obviously a lot of violence around Canada, especially in Canada, I would say. I feel like Canada is under the guise of tolerance, just allows people to say whatever they want to some degree.
Even on this podcast.
I said, pardon?
Except for on the conservative side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This violence did not come out of nowhere, Farkas said. It has been emboldened by spineless leadership, moral cowardice, and a failure to act
reading is hard for us.
It's hard for me. Or stand unequivocally with the Jewish community. Calls to globalize the... How do you pronounce that word, Kyle?
In Tafida? I don't know.
Oh, man, we should know what that word is. That's so bad. Were dismissed. Anti-Semitism was excused as anti-Zionism, and leaders did nothing. Silence, deflection, excuses. These are the choices. These are choices that have consequences. History shows us this pattern clearly. Lies masquerade as morality. Dehumanization is excused, and violence follows. To demonstrators, he said, "You have the right to protest, but you do not have the right to intimidate. You do not have the right to target people because they are Jewish. If your protest makes Jewish families calculate their safety, if your slogans make them fear attending religious celebrations, like our menorah lighting tonight," I'm butchering all these Jewish words, I apologize to our 3 Jewish listeners. "If your cause demands silence from those under threat, then you're not speaking truth to power, you are part of the problem. And I want to be clear, criticism of governments is not anti-Semitism, but harassment of Jewish people anywhere and for any reason it is."
So you think it's a sign of what's to come?
Well, he says further on in the article, "This is not limited to the Jewish community, which is why I'm going to strike a new mayor's interfaith council to work together with other faith leaders, not just in the Jewish community, but in the Sikh, Hindu, Muslim, and Christian community, so that an attack on one is deemed an attack by all of us." So, anyways, I just thought it was fascinating. I feel like the pendulum is, I wouldn't say swinging, but I feel like there's
some conversation having...
The fact that this guy can get... Now, I was just in Calgary recently. I flew in and got a car on, what's that app called? From some guy's house, random dude. And it's basically like a car rental. But
yeah. I think I know what it is.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I was fascinated by like very diverse cultures. People obviously, I find like a lot of, some people would say a lot of immigrants would lean towards
liberal policies.
Maybe, but I think a lot of them are pretty family oriented, right?
Yeah, more. I would say more would be.
And in a lot of other countries, drug addiction, the tolerance for drug use is a lot less than in our country.
Yeah, you see that actually. I noticed that working at the shelter now, it's mostly white guys that are there. It's not like you don't see a lot of immigrants that are addicted to drugs on the street. Now there's some, but it's the majority is.
Why is that?
I think it's just because of the family. Like it's the immigrants that come in here, they're still strong in families, stuff like that. But generally, the Canadians that have been here for a lot of generations, it's like that's gone. There's
broken families.
Yeah, there's nothing left, and there's none of that, which is the fabric of everything. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about that?
About that? No, thanks for asking. I mean, no. I'll let-
Hey guys, if you enjoy that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.